All right, bringing us back in here. All right, we're back from the break, and we continue with There Will Be Dungeons, Bo.
Varel, the nature of the eye that has embedded itself in your chest and is blinking, filling you with a sense of worthiness, makes itself known to you. This is the eye of the great Grosjean. It's an unknown substance, but clearly a great member of your race. If the soul of Grosjean finds the potential host worthy, it opens its flesh and places itself inside the chest of such a creature. It grants its host resistance to damage from ranged attacks. However, when any ranged weapon attack is made against a target within 10 feet of you, you become the target instead. Ooh. If you die, it will remain dormant until it finds a new worthy host. The eye also grants you great magical power of Grosjean. A shield made of mystical energy can appear or disappear on either wrist at will, and grants you the same magical effects of the second level spell, Flame Blade. The center of the shield has a large flat sphere that burns white and blue, while the surrounding area is bright orange and yellow flame. And immediately you see it appears on your wrist in front of everyone. Whoosh! A large flaming shield extends from Varel's wrist. You can also throw it and have it returned to you, Captain America style. The eye keenly watches opponents for opportunities to dominate them. As a bonus action, you can choose a target creature and immediately learn one of its vulnerable damage types, if it has any. If it has more than one, you can repeatedly use it to learn more with each turn. If it has none, it'll simply grant advantage on your next attack roll. Once per long rest, when your hit points reach 0 and does not exceed your negative hit point total, instead of falling unconscious, you'll turn into a savage rage. And you must move to and use all available actions to attack the nearest creature, friendly or foe alike. In the case of ties, you can choose the nearest available. You can choose between the options. You gain advantage on all combat rolls in this state, and you will fall unconscious if you fail to kill a creature on this next turn. Killing creatures does not stack the timer beyond one turn if you kill more than one in the same turn, and if you're healed above 0, you lose these effects. The Eye of Grosjean also counts as the natural weapon, your shield, that is, you produce. Now, importantly, as you commune with this item, you learn that Grosjean was a legendary lizard warrior from the savage days of the Scorching, and an evil warlock tricked Grosjean and captured his strength into this magical artifact of unknown origin. The warlock found he could not capture the power of Grosjean without removing or capturing the soul, and thus it has its own sentience. When bearing the eye, the host will telepathically feel your joy of victory and disapproval when suffering defeat. And apparently my mic is quiet, so I will turn it up.
I think it's just distance.
Hello? I'm right here.
Well,
hello.
There you go.
All right.
That's better.
If the host takes an action that is shameful or cowardly, you'll suffer a conflict. On losing the conflict, Grosjean will suppress his abilities until you do something worthy. Continuing the shame will result in further discordance, and he will take control of you and find the first creature of a combat rating higher or greater to fight for you. If there's a third conflict, the eye will leave you, teleporting away.
Will it rip from his chest in a very dramatic fashion and fly forward and, throw him back and all that?
The finer details can be reviewed, and of course we'll post this online, but yes, it will leave in shame and abandon him.
Sweet.
If Varel is shameful. This all becomes known to you, Varel, as you stand there with a flaming shield in front of you, your chest having a blinking eye embedded in it. Your colors rapidly changing.
Wow. That's really cool.
I would like to drop Maelstrom and summon forth my Flame Blade.
Yes, you have it. It's in the form of a shield. It's not a blade.
Oh, snap.
It's a shield.
Damn. Okay, so I get both.
It uses the Flame Blade spell, but it comes in the form of a shield.
Got it. Awesome. So I have a flaming shield?
You do. It's pure fire. There's no metallic parts to it. It is made of pure fire.
That is badass.
The room is alight with your shield. And as you guys stare at Varel in awe, wondering what is happening to him, the ceiling begins to lower a bit by a foot. You hear it. It just comes down a little bit.
My friends, I have been embedded with power. I'm gonna say Grohl. What's the name again?
Grosjean.
Grosjean. Okay. I have taken the eye of Grosjean into myself, and felt its glory. A mighty boon.
Don't forget, from here on out, mighty Varel, when people stare at your face and you can say, "Excuse me, my eye is down here."
All right, we're having a lot of fun with this, and I have about 1,000,000 questions, but does anybody else notice that this creature is either shrinking or collapsing, both of which means we need to get out of here right now?
Nash's baby arm pops out of his cloak and begins shaking.
I'll move to catch up and then hope I don't understand Nash's reference.
We'll talk after we get out of here.
See. Only I have an eye in my chest.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Well, there
It's
are
fine.
many things on chests.
We'll explain later. Stanley's right. We need to get out.
All right. So you continue on past that direction.
Yep.
And as you exit the room, you notice that the wall to the south begins giving away. Now, if everyone can just stop moving for a second while I do this.
Sorry.
We'll
Okay.
never stop moving.
No,
never.
we're already out.
I'm moving. Oh, everything's connected. No, don't be bad.
Can I just say, while you're doing that, the veins in this world are so gross.
Yeah.
They remind me of when you eat a shrimp that still has a big poo vein in it. You know what I'm talking about? Just
Yes.
under the surface there, and you're like, I don't want that piece of shrimp. That's just nasty.
No.
Or like
All
your
right,
grandma's
I managed to
ankles.
successfully do
Anyway,
this.
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna go with varicose ads on the highways in Florida.
There you go. Even more. Even better.
All right, as you exit the room, the little wall of flesh sort of gives way, and you notice a bunch of yellowish snot-like substances, a large mass of them, and they begin spilling out of the hallway towards you.
Hope's gonna back up.
Running.
Run.
All right, so if everyone can, if we can do turn order, who wants to turn order first?
I think Varel with his hot new gear should be number
Yeah,
one.
I'll lead the way.
All right.
In fact,
move
I'll
six- move
light
your
my
six-
wrist and use it as a light source as
All
we
right,
run.
as you begin dashing, you notice that the things begin moving towards your direction.
Ah,
Slime.
Look at him. Gross. Like little splatters.
Okay, so you guys moving. So Varel, make your move first.
All right, I will run down the path that we decided earlier.
Okay, Hope, you're next.
all right, I'm gonna follow after Varel.
Stanley.
Follow. Run.
All right, and Nash.
I make a mad dash, dude, for the same deal.
All right, as you run by, a piece of the slime whips out, makes an attack on you of opportunity,
Shit.
and misses as it just tries to grab you and pull itself into its boogery flesh, and they begin chasing you slowly down the hallway. The intestine is filled, not hallway, but the intestine. It's filled with this yellow pus-like goop as it fills up behind you. Varel?
Running. At a speed that they can keep up with, so not my full
Okay,
40,
perfect.
but the 30 of
Hope.
my allies.
All right,
poop.
running behind.
Yeah, there's a hole in front of you.
How did I end up right here?
Stanley, so Nash, your turn.
We're all still tied together.
Yeah.
Okay, as you proceed down the hallway, the boogers begin to move in single file behind you, moving. Now, Varel, there's another pus hole in front of you.
All right, I'll jump it.
All right. Strength, acrobatics or athletics, like you wish. Everyone can make that roll as you guys run down the hallway.
25.
17.
Mm-hmm.
Natural 1.
14.
Okay.
Tied
so,
to us though.
Yep, Stanley, you get your foot stuck in the hole as you tend to make a jump. You just mistime it, and your foot becomes stuck in it. And Nash, you attempt to jump across, but you knock yourself into him as you made the jump.
Oh.
and have to. You're sort of now on top of him as you knocked him over, and his foot is stuck in a little flesh hole in the bottom. And around the corner, the filled pus begins to chase you down and threaten to engulf all of you.
Gonna
Stand on your
start
foot
pulling on
stuck.
the rope.
All right, I would try to pull myself free.
All right, let's make a strength check,
Can
please.
I
A
can
saving
I
throw.
help him and get a bonus roll on that?
Okay, you can make it with advantage as Nash attempts to help you get your foot stuck from the hole.
Sweet. That's a 15.
Okay, you
18.
pull your.
18. Does that help?
Nice.
Well, no, you've given him advantage, but
Yeah, I got to roll with
Oh,
it.
I
That
thought I
does
had
help.
to. I thought I rolled the second die and then you took the highest.
Right.
Never mind.
I mean,
Sorry.
you both could have rolled a die. You pull it out, and with a satisfying, and you're now free.
Satisfying.
It's my
All right.
wedding night.
You guys are able to proceed down the hallway. Pharrell, you're first.
All right. Spin around the side. Is my fire shield giving me greater sight than?
Yes. Oh,
current-
yeah. You're a source of light. So let me give you some light. All right. Let's do that.
Awesome.
20. All players see light.
Sweet. I'll round the corner.
All right. You round the corner. Hope you may go.
Right. Following Varel.
All right. The paths twist and turn as you continue running down them, seemingly endless. Go ahead, Nash.
Do I have to roll again for the jump?
You can move up to 6 squares. Yes, you do.
Okay, hold on. Please don't be lower this time. 14.
All right, you make it over. You sort of twist your ankle a little bit, not painfully, but you're just nervous and a little awkward. But you get over to the other side and you run down the hall around the corner, the intestinal corner. And again, here the walls become even more filthy, vile. The air, it's almost like you're burning the air. There are little sparks with your flame shield as it sort of ignites a bit of the gases around. Whoosh, whoosh, and sort of this flame burst just sort of whoosh, whoosh, as it eats up the gases in the intestine. You may continue, Varel.
All right. I advance.
And everyone else may follow.
Right. Following.
Following.
Please continue as far as you'd like. And I will narrate the fact that you're continuing to move around the corner, escaping the yellow pus that you know is behind you. You can hear it oozing down the hallway. The intestine twists and turns, seemingly endless. Now you're moving left, and you see the corner moves right. And then you have to move left again and move right. And you, at one point, it's a little bit closed up, so you have to push aside and step through and hold it open for your teammates. And again, you notice another pus hole in front of you.
All right. Keep it moving. Ooh, 12.
Okay, you jump over, able to not fall into the pus hole.
Yeah, 12 for me.
It's a 12 for me.
It's just a dexterity check, right?
Yep, athletic. You can use your acrobatics or your
Oh.
athletics to leap over.
It was, we'll say, exceptionally high, and just go.
Okay. Nash.
8.
Okay, you attempted to jump over this time, and now it's your turn to slip in as your foot gets stuck in it. You misjudge it, slip on down, and go whoa, and your baby hand slaps you in the face awkwardly, and you're blinded for a second.
It got me right in the eyeball. Oh man.
Yeah, and you're just like and you wince, and it causes you to fall down into the hole. You look back and you see that Nash has once again fallen into, or has for the first time fallen into a hole. His foot is stuck.
A little help.
We'll start pulling on the rope if that gives
Yeah.
an advantage.
Pull on the rope to help yank him out.
All right, make a strength check, please.
All right. Ooh, 19.
All right, with a satisfying, you pull your foot free from it,
Thank you for saying foot. Got it.
and you're able to proceed.
All right.
Pharrell, continue.
Burl continues, running around the corner.
All right, this time there's a long intestinal passage that leads to the right and curves again to the right. And then there's a long passage this time as you see it sprinting 60 feet sorry, 10, 20, 30, 40 feet long ahead of you.
All right, I'll book it the full my speed of 40.
Okay. Everyone books it down, rounds the corner. And again, another turn to the left. These passages are endless. You can hear behind you the
Running.
Nash says, "That isn't
Everyone
me.
conti-
That's not me making that sound."
Everyone continues running as you hear the sound behind you, and you approach this time a larger hole.
All right, I'll jump it. Out in front for the group. 23.
23. You leap to the other side, and you immediately notice another creature the self same as you did in the other room. It reacts immediately and whips out a tendril at you. Let's see. I want everyone to roll initiative, please.
Shit. 4.
6.
All right. Nash has 4. Varel has Nash 4. Varel 6.
6 as well.
25.
What?
Wow.
Stanley is done. We're getting
Yeah.
through this.
He's got some
I
serious
wasted a nat
initiative.
20 on initiative. I feel great.
Okay, perfect. So, Stanley, it is your turn first. You notice that a tendril has reached out to attempt to swipe Varel, and you can kind of see it in mid-flight, making its way towards Varel.
Can I try to blast it on its way to Varel?
You can target the tendril, yes, but you can't see the creature itself.
All right, I will fire double beams of Eldritch Blast at the tendril
Okay.
and see what happens. That's not going to work. So the first one is likely a miss. I rolled a 2 plus 8.
Mm-hmm.
So 10. Second one is going to be a 23 to hit.
It hits.
All right.
Roll your damages, my man.
It's the wrong dice. That's
Make your
9
damage
damage.
known.
9
Okay.
damage to the tentacle.
Okay, you fire out the Eldritch Blast, one miss, and the other one shocks it and disintegrates it into a mist of flesh, and it no longer is reaching out towards Varel. More
And
tendrils appear to be making their way as you do this.
And then I'm going to move to the edge of the hole, and that'll be the turn.
Okay, Varel, it is your turn. Another great beast, a roping beast, before you.
All right, I will lift up my shield and charge it,
Okay, perfect.
and make my first flame blade shield attack.
Okay, so Flame Blade, I believe, is...
It's a melee spell, so I guess.
Yeah, so you'll be making your melee attack.
And it's on
Spell-
fire. Don't forget how
So
on fire it is.
If you go to spells, you'll actually see that the spell Flame Blade is available there.
Oh, cool.
So it's a plus. It says it gives you a +3 to hit,
Oh, interesting.
but 3d6. But it will do 3d6 fire damage on a hit.
Gotcha. So +3 to hit.
It may still be more worthwhile to use your Moss Storm, depending on what your...
I'll do a 1-2. We'll do a flame shield slam and then a Moss Storm swing for the secondary. Now, can I use Reckless Attack on a melee spell? Guess I have to go to Features. Reckless Attack. On the first attack of your turn, advantage on a melee weapon roll. And this counts as a natural weapon, not a melee weapon.
No, it's still a melee weapon. It's just also a natural weapon. It's played a
Okay.
scimitar. It lasts for duration. I mean, this is Flame Blade as written is an ephemeral scimitar, basically.
Sure.
So this is a melee weapon. So I would assume, yeah, and you're making a melee spell attack with the blade, so it counts.
Cool. All right. I'll make a reckless one then, with the glory behind me. So it'd be a 16 rolled and a 19 total.
19 total. Okay, with Moss Storm?
This is with the flame shield. Slam.
So the flame shield connects, but does no damage to it as its carapace is hardened.
All the same. Then the secondary attack comes. So pop with the shield, then run over with the Moss Storm.
Moss Storm.
For the second attack. And Moss Storm is a natural 20.
All right.
Dark
so roll
Souls.
double damage dice.
Natty 20 for the Moss Storm.
So you
9.
go chink with the flame shield.
Yep, and just splash a bunch of flames in its face, even if it does no damage. Haha. And a total of 13 points of damage from Moss Storm.
Okay, so this time you sink the blade in. And you sink it into its flesh, piercing its hardened carapace. And boogers, green and yellow, drip forth from the wound.
Awesome. I will engage Moss Storm as my bonus action.
All right, and that's a
Dexterity.
throw. It's a fail.
Cool.
So again, you
5
open up
points of damage.
the blade and with an additional 5 points of damage, you begin sawing it. So. Perfect. Okay. Stanley, or not Stanley, Nash, it's your turn.
Okay. Do I have line of sight right there?
You do.
Okay. Well. Varel's a little close for that, so I'm not gonna put him in danger. Let's try acid splash. See what that does to him. It may not do much because we're in the freaking colon of a giant frog here.
You remember you get your extra damage on your acid attacks.
Oh, that's true. Oh, I totally forgot about that. Okay, we're doing that.
Okay.
You
So
need
that's
to do
just a save for me. What's the
yeah,
save?
the Dex 15. That will be
Okay, it's a fail.
okay. Good. So I need to do. Hold on. Damn thing.
Do you do extra damage with that now that you're a higher level?
Yeah. So it's let's see, saving through 1d6 acid damage plus. Oh no, it's not in addition to. It's just okay at 6th level, 5th
You
level.
do 2d6.
2d6,
Yeah, you do
yeah,
2d6 plus 2d6 plus whatever your bonus is from your class feature, which is elemental affinity. You can add +4 to 1 damage roll of that spell.
Okay. So plus
So
4 to
2d6
whatever
plus
this
4.
is. So that will be 12 total.
Okay, so you fling acid on it, and it screams out in pain as you melt some of its teeth, and then one of the teeth, like the teeth, sort of melt open a little bit. It undulates violently.
All right, sweet. I like
Tendrils flaming everywhere.
my
Flailing
position.
everywhere.
Just, I'm a position I like where I'm at, so I'm not going to move, and I think that's
Okay.
my turn.
All right, then that leaves us with Hope. It's your turn.
All right, cool. So for my action, I'm gonna continue the jump across, and let's see, that was a 14.
Okay, perfect. You make your way and jump across.
All right, seeing that, I'm just gonna kind of book it back 10 feet, and that'll be my turn.
Okay, perfect. So the roper extends its tentacles out and attempts to grapple you, Varel.
Excellent.
It is not. Oh, it is a weapon attack for him, and you do not contest it. Good. 21 versus your AC.
That's a hit.
All right. So the tendril swoops out, wraps itself around you, and pinches you yet again in that familiar feeling, closing your arms. However, Moss Storm stays in, and you're able to wedge yourself so that you still have a hand on the sword as it continues to drive itself into the creature.
Awesome.
It then pulls you closer to its mouth and bites you. Okay, and a 14 will not hit, right?
Miss, correct.
Yeah. So it hits. So it bites down on you and then breaks its teeth against your scales, and it's just savage in what it does. You just hear the sound of teeth breaking around you, and you feel its tongue sort of lash around your face, but you take no damage. Okay. Stanley, it is your turn.
All right, time for me to make my jump across. That's a action to do the jump, right?
Correct.
That's going to be a 23.
Okay, you float across daintily.
Yeah. And
By the way, that's why it was Weenie in the contest. I'm just throwing that out there.
hey, I'm Stanley, not Diantalis. Difference. And then I'm going to throw out diplomacy, say parlay, and send it at the creature.
All right, make
For
your
an
attack roll.
That's going to be 27 to hit.
Okay, that's a hit.
Nope, I did bad math. That's 22.
You still hit.
Okay.
Oh, must have been really big. Oh, he must have been really off.
Was a little bit of bad math there.
57. Does that hit?
That's 9 damage to the creature.
Okay, you do 9 damage to the creature, and its blade sinks itself into its skin and pulls itself out telepathically.
Yep, and that will be my turn.
Okay. All right, Varel, your turn. You're currently grappled.
All right. Is it so? You said I still have my hands are on the blade, and it's still.
You
in
have one
contact?
hand on the blade and on the trigger. Actually, you would have both hands, but they're like, you're bound by the tendril. You can't really
Sure.
move your arms until you break the grapple.
You're like Luke in Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to, with my helmet, would I have momentum for a headbutt?
Oh, well, your head is kind of in its mouth at this point.
Oh, right. Okay. So it is actively chewing, though I am resistant at the moment.
Yeah. So far, it's broken its teeth on your scales.
I would like to ready an action.
Mm-hmm.
When it bites me again, I want to bite its tongue.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're readying an action to bite its tongue. Very
Yeah,
good.
so when that tongue comes back at my face, I'm gonna bite it.
Nash,
Nice.
your turn.
Nice. How can I even follow that? That's an amazing readiness. I don't want to be any closer than this, so I'm gonna do another acid splash from the side.
Okay. So that's a
Dex
saving throw
15.
from my part.
Mhm.
Dexterity, right?
Yep, Dex 15.
All right, it fails the roll.
All right, the +4, so 13 this time.
Okay, so you fling another globule
Mm-hmm.
of acid at it, attempting to avoid Varel as you throw it and continue laying on the acid and melting its skin.
All right, and I will.
Its carapace gives way to weird organs.
Oh,
sort of
good.
Pulsating red.
We're burning
as
through. I
yellow,
like it.
green, boogery substance slides down at the side of it.
All right, that'll be my
Hope,
turn.
it is your turn.
All right, so is that basically an opening that Nash has created?
Yes.
All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna do one attack this time. I might do two if this misses, but let's see. I'm gonna shoot one of those explosive bullets with a 24.
Okay, that's a hit.
All right, and I'm gonna aim it into that hole that Nash has created, and then I'll sit
Okay.
and wait.
The bullet goes and sinks into the exposed flesh. Can you roll weapon damage, please?
Yes, of course. How foolish.
How foolish.
There we go. So 14.
14. Wow. Okay. You shoot it into it. And is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, I'm just gonna smile a little and wait. Countdown in my head.
All right. Well, you don't have to wait too much longer because its turn is next. And where you shot it in, it explodes. Roll your explosive damage dice, please.
All right, cool. It's got that 13 Constitution save.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. Sorry. It saves.
Oh, cool. All right, so we're gonna do half damage then. So let's see what we got here. We got 12, so 6 damage. 6
All
fire
right.
damage.
So it does explode, and a piece of its flesh just comes firing out, and then part of it falls down, and sort of it leans to the side now, clearly very damaged, as as a part of it looks like it's just been blown off on the side, and you see an avenue of escape through the cheek, Varel, where a hole is opened up.
Oh, awesome.
And as predicted, it does bite you, so you can bite back as a reaction.
Yes. Bite contest. 25.
All right, successful.
Excellent. 9 points of damage.
All right. So you bite down so hard that you're able to bite off its entire tongue. And you bite it into two pieces. Now you can keep the tongue in your mouth or you can let it go, but you've extended your mouth open in a huge way and it closes in. And you feel your chest approve.
Excellent.
You should eat it for nourishment.
All right, so now it will attempt to counter
He
bite
eats
you.
poo for a living.
It continues trying to bite you, and it breaks more of the teeth against your scale as it bites down savagely on you, like a thing possessed. But it's you. The rest of you can watch its teeth break against Varel's scales as it's just its legs dangling out side of the mouth. Now, as you observe this from behind you, you hear. And the large yellow pusses that fill the intestine begin making their way behind you and are close to coming to your direction to engulf you as it evacuates from the intestine. Stanley, it is your turn. Nash in particular, they're about 10 feet away from you behind you.
Okay.
The large
We didn't skip Varel, did we?
We did not.
Okay.
I don't think so. He readied an action. That's why.
Oh, okay. All right.
Stanley, it's your turn.
All right. Well, seeing a smoldering opening that Hope has continued to damage, I'm gonna key in on that, fire 2 Eldritch Blasts, and send Diplomacy to go stab it.
Okay, do all the attack roll things.
Oh my gosh, none of them are good. Okay. I didn't roll anything higher than 16 to hit.
Everything misses. You
Oh,
make a big deal about flailing back your cape, and they both shoot wide, and the sword also flies wide of it. And the entire
never
barrage
seen
fails.
So many dice roll so low.
All right. Anything else you'd like to do, or are you expended?
I'm going to bravely scooch a little bit.
All right. Varel, you're up next.
Bravely scooch.
All right. You said there was a hole out the side of the mouth that I can.
Yes.
Is that an escape artist?
You're still restrained, but if you wanted to, instead of retreating out, you could make your way through the mouth and out.
Oh
the
yeah.
hole. You have its tongue in your mouth too. You've bitten it clean off.
Okay, so I could actively what was it, crocodiles, where you escape out the back? It's easier than going out the front because of the curved teeth.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll
But you are
crawl up
still
in.
you're still restrained by the tendril. You haven't broken
Okay.
the grapple yet. So your movement is 0 at this time.
Gotcha. All right. Well, then I'll grapple. No, it's disadvantage though. I'll just keep on biting the inside of its mouth, of its own mouth.
Okay, if as long as you can keep doing that, keep biting.
Kill it from the inside, I say. 19 on a bite
Okay.
on its
that-
insides.
That's a miss.
Okay.
Yeah, you bite around the inside, and you are tearing off flesh, but not damaging it, as it cares very little. Its insides are of some sort of alien makeup. It's difficult to understand. You bite flesh off, it grows back in its place and regenerates. You do no damage.
Cool. Looks like I actually misread the flame blade, and it's a cast at will, but it persists and then is a bonus action. So I'd like to use my bonus action to try to burn it, if I'm reading correctly.
Okay, one sec, sorry. Let me get back to your character sheet. All right, so you cast Flame Blade, so yeah, let me see, Flame Blade.
Cast at will.
So the casting
Cast
is a
time,
bonus
bonus
action. Yeah, so casting it is a bonus action, but
but
use
make
your
a melee
action-
spell it. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That
cool.
way, if you were a traditional wizard, you'd bonus action a Flame Blade, then attack, kind of thing.
Got it.
Like with your regular action.
No worries.
Okay. All right, so then let's move on to Nash.
All right. I got to get the hell out of the way here. So, Nash is going to try to jump this anus if you can.
Okay, you jump over the hole.
Yeah. So let's see, athletics, or no, it doesn't matter. I don't have any bonuses to that stuff. So here we go. 14.
All right, you make it over.
Oh, thank the Lord on high. Oh, thank you for moving me. All right. Do I have any movement left after that?
You do.
Okay.
You've used that's 2, so you have 3 more movements.
I'm going to move right there, up against the poo wall.
You provoke an opportunity attack from Stanley.
I slap him as he goes by.
I fart on him as I go by. All right, I'm just gonna.
That jump is your action.
Right, I'm gonna stay there. That's it.
Okay.
That's my turn.
I hope it's your turn.
All right, I'm gonna yell, "Come on, Varel, finish it up. We gotta go!" And I'll start moving down the intestine.
You're not gonna shoot him.
I've got 1 bullet left.
You can
There's
shoot
12
and then
bullets per
move.
day.
You can shoot
There
then
might be
move.
another monster.
All right, hurry up. The roper.
Grab
You guys
hold
shit
in
on
a
my
creature's mouth and hopes like it's his power position. What are you gonna do?
The jellies begin to move. The orange yellow jellies that are filling up, pus like, move through the intestine, touching like all sides of the wall. They're just filling it up, and they move closer and closer. Varel, it makes another bite action on you, and again breaks its teeth, continually trying to bite you and unable to do so. My rolls have been really low. Okay, Stanley, it's your turn.
All right, I'm gonna try the trifecta one more time. Hope it goes better. I'll go ahead and aim at the tentacle because it seems like I could destroy those before. So
Okay. Wait. All right, you should do this one at a time because you don't want to aim everything at the tentacle and overkill it, right?
that's a good point. That's a good point. All right, we'll do first Eldritch Blast at the tentacle.
Okay. The one holding Varel, I assume?
Yep, that didn't hit. Second Eldritch Blast at the tentacle.
Come on.
Maybe?
What's the roll?
Hold on. That's a 18 to hit.
It hits it and does nothing.
Great. Send diplomacy to hit the tentacle. Natural 20.
Yeah.
Hey,
roll your
we
damage
got
dice.
there.
You were due, man. You were due.
That's going to be 14 damage.
Okay, you slice it, and Varel, you're immediately loosened. And you
Awesome.
gain full control of your body. And now it is your turn. Unless you're moving. Yeah.
Oh, no, I gotta stay in range of freaking diplomacy here, so let me see.
None of his teammates to help or anything. His sword is the
Right.
priority.
Yeah.
I go that far away, because that's how far I can still be away from
All right,
diplomacy.
Varel, your turn.
All right,
You're
I
now
will.
fully free.
Cool. I will disengage from the creature with my
Okay.
standard, so I don't provoke attacks of opportunity, which are auto hit grapples,
Yeah.
and then I will run.
Okay, you disengage and you begin running down away from the creature. You have 40 feet of movement.
Cool. I will book it to up to hope, and that'll be the 40.
Okay, Nash, it is your turn.
All right. I'm gonna not stick around down there either and run
You could kill it, though.
to
It's your
there.
chance. No, never mind.
Yeah, I'm
Last hit XP.
not going near that
Gold
thing.
drops out.
Okay, perfect. So now as you guys run around the corner, you're still within its line of sight somewhat. A tentacle reaches out and attempts to grab Stanley as he's still visible on the
Shit!
corner.
Yeah. I'm really glad I got behind you suddenly.
We got the ropes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're all coming back.
14 doesn't hit, right?
No, it does not.
Okay, the tendril reaches out, darts past your head. Okay, Stanley, it is now your turn. And
All right.
the oozes, before you move, the oozes start to fill up in front of the creature and begin to fill things up and hides the creature from your view.
Oh, I can't see it at all anymore.
No.
All right.
All you see behind you is it's like a. You ever had like a donut with a filling in it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a yellow orange pussy filling descending down the intestine towards you, just covering everything.
All right. Well, I'm gonna call diplomacy back to me.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're about to
We're,
run
we're-
anyway.
yeah, we're back to running time. So
We're about
forget
to run
combat order.
anyway. So
Pharrell,
just
lead the
before I
way.
run, I shoot 2 Eldritch Blasts at the goop.
Okay. All right. Make attack rolls.
Because why not?
Yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
sure.
Okay, that's a 18 plus 8 and a 4 plus 8 for for them.
18 plus 8. All right. So I'm just moving to the stats of that thing. 1 second. Sorry, 14 plus 8.
Yeah.
They changed D&D Beyond a bit. I have a hard time finding anything else.
That's a 21 to hit. I went ahead and took the time and did the math.
Cool. All right. It's a hit. They both hit.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Mhm.
That's 9, 10, that's 12 damage total between the 2 blasts.
Okay. You fire an Eldritch Blast into it, and it splits off into 2 pieces as it explodes, and then both pieces begin moving towards you unabated.
Okay, was a good idea to run. We're gonna keep running.
Okay. Varel.
I shall lead the party 30 feet at a time.
Okay. All right. Hope. Continue moving.
All right, following 30 feet at a time behind Varel.
All right. And you may continue doing this until I stop you. So.
All right.
keep going.
Running desperately.
The intestines continue to twist and turn as you make your way through the fecal-soaked passages. You can hear the sounds of the pus filling behind you. You run frantically, hoping one day that there will be an end to the intestine. But then the passages begin to open up into wider areas. But the fecal matter becomes deeper,
Oh,
and it becomes difficult terrain as you're now in 3 feet.
oh,
Fecal matter up to your waists.
ah.
Ah, dude.
All right.
Hope is cursing an infernal very loudly.
Wading through.
Now, everything is very liquid, so you almost get the sense that perhaps there might be a way, if you could float atop it, to get out.
Wait.
I got a cloak. I got a
Where-
boat.
Ugh.
Boat us.
I'm gonna do a boat.
Mentioned the boat before we were waist deep in.
Ugh.
Thank you.
Well, I mean,
Just get the boat.
all right, all right, all right. So I'm gonna rip the boat thing off, and I'm gonna say the following incantation that's not required at all. All right. So I'm gonna say. One day you will all call me the goat, because I produced a boat. Boat.
Okay.
You know, goat, greatest
So-
of all time. Goat.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Big in the solar mines.
Yeah,
Overwatch.
yeah, yeah. So then,
Overwatch.
Yeah.
All right,
so I
and the
flop
boat-
a boat out, and we get on that thing, and we're still gonna have to really struggle to keep it moving, though.
All right, a
Damn.
boat appears.
All right.
Oh, the
All
boat was
right.
ready with a boat. Look at that.
I
right.
have,
I get in the boat and I
All right.
take an oar.
I have a
in the
feeling
boat.
Bo really wanted us to get that boat going today. That's my feeling.
There's the boat. As you begin making your way down, you can just move your character so you have the light.
We're
This
not
is
in
awkwardly
the
done.
boat.
This
We're
is
just
And you-
swimming
low
with the
rent.
boat.
You're now sort of safely in the boat for now. Just stop there for a second as you begin paddling through the lake of shit down the large intestines. Are you able to breathe for a moment? You hear behind you the splashing of whatever pus-filled thing enter into the deeper area. It's quiet, but there's time for reflection as you float in the boat, not having to move through.
Reflection while we're floating in fecal matter.
Yeah. The intestine ceiling appears to lower again by another foot as it's, and you proceed along. Is there any RP that you guys want to do? Is everyone just quietly rowing? What's
I need a drink.
Is there 2 oars? Then do I have both?
The boat says, I was just looking for that. It just says rowboat. It doesn't actually say we have oars. So, Bo, I guess you should have to.
Yeah, you have 2 oars.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
one on either side. One person can do both. One can. How do you want to sort out the boat?
Oh, Varel's got the strength. If we're
Yeah.
Varel's probably the best rower.
I'll row it.
Okay, he rose, and as he pulls back, his eyeball on his chest sort of closes, and then as he goes forward, it opens up intensely, and then as he rose back, the eye
Is he
closes.
still changing color?
Yes, he's been stable color wise.
Okay.
I'm more of a shower than a rower.
All right, so you continue to proceed down the intestine to the sea of shit as you move.
I wondered why the light wasn't going. It was because I wasn't going.
Boat moves along.
Where the hell the boat go?
Like the end of RE4.
And the boat proceeds, and finally you get to something that looks familiar: the ribbing of a place near the exit.
Ribbing. Ugh.
As you see, the sides of the intestinal wall becomes large and have these large ribbings. And
Jeez.
I don't know how to describe it, but the mucous membrane becomes
ribbed.
clearer and cleaner, and you begin making your way down. You can just move your dudes all the way to the end if you like, but the rest of the journey is somber as everyone's quiet, and the only sound is the sound of Varel heaving the oars through the shit.
Well, I would be already, even though it's of little use in this place, starting the mass stream of prestidigitation to clean.
Yeah, Stanley is chain prestidigitating all of his belongings and clothing and everything else.
Thank you for rowing, Varel.
As you move through the bowel, the process takes another 10 minutes, but you encounter no other creatures of the Froghemus innards. And eventually you get to a place where light begins to shine through, and a large exit appears, and the lake spills out onto the sand, forming a lake of shit near the creature's anus, and you sort of float out on the rowboat of the Froghemus butt, and then for a few minutes you're in the sun rowing, and then you hit the sand near the shore. Behind you, you see the large body of the Froghemoth baking in the sun, its flesh rotting. Vultures have lined themselves atop it and are taking little bites and going. Birds circle. You can see in the distance from the shore, Tiet Kala. Maybe a few hours' journey on foot.
I will exit the boat and walk over to the sands and begin my dirt bath.
Okay, you begin
Yeah.
dirt bathing.
I go over there as well, and I start magic bathing.
This magic bathing. Okay. Very good. Anyone else have anything they'd like to do?
I'm just gonna vomit.
I'm going to make a poo angel. I'm going to lay on my back,
Yeah, Nash.
and I'm going to go, I'm so glad to be out of that effing thing. And do
Yeah.
this.
And you make it also with your
Finally
baby
reached
arm.
his
Yeah, my little
The
baby,
baby
arm's
arm
going.
state.
Oh, can we get rid of that? Stanley, could you prestidigitate that?
What, my
Nash,
arm?
get out of the poo. Get up here.
I just feel so good to be out of there, guys.
I start
Yes.
zapping him with prestidigitation. Just, you know what? Normally, I would make you wallow in your own filth, Nash, but honestly, I gotta spend enough time around you. You're gonna be clean.
Thank you.
It's... Now, what are we gonna do about your new arm?
Leave it. I've grown
Why?
accustomed to it. It reminds me of Pod, and it'll be a
Because it's
vestigial visage of her memory.
Your weird, freaky baby arm reminds you of Pod?
I'll keep it away, what's hidden, and I'll have it tucked under the cloak. I'm not going to pull it out and go blah all the time. And it might be useful one of these days where all hands are full, but we need one extra hand for something that can help untie a rope or throw a rock or poke someone in the eye while we're grappled, or, it could be
Could
useful.
hold the potion.
Hold a potion, exactly.
All right, all right.
not
Vorel, how are
quiet
you
now.
doing?
Well, glorious even. That was a adventure.
Yeah, you came away a little changed there.
Only in my chest. I'm still Vorel.
And as he says that, he changes color to the color of pitch black.
You You keep shifting colors there as well.
I am not in control of this yet.
Varel, I would keep a close eye on that chest. Says Nash.
Hope's gonna start undoing the rope around her waist and start going to everyone to undo the rope to wrap it up and put it back in her knapsack.
Stanley, as he talks, is still prestidigitating everything. There
is-
cannot be enough zaps. Even if the place seems clean, it's getting it again.
And even as you do that, Nash goes, "Get it? Because he's got an eye in his chest now. You get it? He has to keep a close eye on his chest?"
And you are well armed, yes?
See, you're getting the... Now we're
Yes.
talking. Lighten up, Stanley. We just went through
You
the
can't summon
digestive
any
system of a
alcohol,
giant
Stanley?
frog. This is great.
Nothing.
Look, I'm slightly familiar with things seemingly being okay and entering one's body and it ending up not being very okay. And I'm slightly concerned about our color-changing lizard over there.
Well, I am as well, but Varel assures us Varel, you're okay. You're feeling great and glorious, and you don't feel like hurting us.
Why would I feel like hurting you?
Exactly. I say accept it like a new arm on your shoulder. Embrace it. Embrace your colors. Embrace your newfound eyeball.
Couldn't
you
you guys check the magic of the thing that went into his chest?
I'd be glad to. And I'll roll an Arcana check if
Just
the
to
DM
make sure
approves.
it's okay.
What do you say, Bo? Can I run one?
So what are you doing?
Arcana check on his eyeball.
No, what are you doing?
I'm gonna walk up to it and put my hands around it, like I'm cupping
Okay.
the breast.
It doesn't require an Arcana check.
You're gonna
You can
cup his
put-
chest.
like,
Okay.
What are you trying to accomplish? And then I call for the check. So I get that you want to investigate it magically, or you want to know what it is.
I want to investigate it magically.
Okay.
So
Then
Arcana
roll your
check's
Arcana
okay?
check.
Yeah.
Mhm.
18.
You haven't a clue what it is.
Shit.
All right, I'm gonna go over.
You know as much as anyone
I'm
else
gonna-
has said.
I'm gonna look at Varel's chest. I'm going to utter a command, do a gesture, and then because it requires my focus, pull out my megaphone and aimed directly at his chest, go, "What are you? Are you hostile?" And cast Identify on the eye.
Okay, so Vorel has already identified what it is. So what are you just trying to learn?
This is just trying to get a sense because Stanley has, as you know, had an encounter with a being taking over his body, and he wants to get a sense if this thing is a hostile presence like that.
Okay, so Stanley, you learned that this is an artifact of warlock construction. You, in particular, are not familiar with warlock spells, although Dying Talus is, so you do not understand what it is that allows it to function.
He knows a
However,
little. I do
it-
know basic warlock magic because I can hex, eldritch blast, and things like that.
Yeah, but you know that thanks to the corruption of Cthulhu and not because you were a studied warlock.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have a sense of what magic or what process created it. You do understand it to be an artifact, that it has a sentience of its own, but that it follows its own will. But to what extent, you could not say without utilizing it firsthand. However, as you identify it, you are filled with an extreme feeling of unworthiness, as you can feel it judge you as unworthy and wanting.
Judge me.
Yeah, Judge. you.
Anyway, I pass this information along to Varel and just Varel. So that's what I can sense from it. I would exercise caution. Whatever this thing is, it has a mind of its own. It's not going to necessarily have to obey your commands.
As long as its goals align with mine and it seeks glory, it will find it in me. Though I wonder, might I have time to meditate on this? He have finally returned to the desert after a long time amongst humans. I would very much like to gain control of these prismatic scales.
I don't think that would be a bad idea. I think we all could use a little break after what we've endured. Now, do we want to do it right here in this lovely setting? And I gesture towards the river of shit to the side. Or should we maybe at least move a little bit? I can supply cover and shelter so we can set up camp wherever. But no doubt this giant creature will draw some attention and it could bring people to us.
Should we recover the Fate 4 while we're out on this half of town?
But what, drive it into town?
As the original plan I stated, yes.
But we don't even know if the war is still going on.
Oh. When was your army to arrive? Where?
Whenever. I don't know. He didn't know.
Whenever.
Could be there now.
Would it not be inspirational to see their new queen pop a jump into the keep on a vehicle?
I don't even know if they would know what it is. They've been locked away for thousands of years.
Oh, that's a good point. Then perhaps your cover, Stanley, would be best.
All right.
Free of the winds of Froghemoth.
Then let's move a ways and I will set up the tiny hut whenever we feel it is appropriate.
Okay, so which direction do you walk in? Towards Tietkala or towards a different direction?
Towards the teat, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's fair to say that we're going to want to make our way back there. So we head for it.
The four adventurers pick up their belongings and begin the long trek. How many hours do you walk before you rest?
You said we're how many hours away, probably?
You look like judging 5 or 6 hours.
If we
It's a
go
long
half
walk.
of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2.5.
All right with that.
So you
While
walk
we-
2 or... Oh,
While we walk, I want to do a perception check to see if I see any, first of all, vehicles on the horizon, but any sign of, wasn't the Toyota host supposed to arrive at the wedding? And we were, of course, in the keep when things went mad, so I'd like to see if the host has traveled.
okay. Do your perception check, please.
23.
You scan the horizon, and you see that all is quiet from all directions.
All is quiet, which is perhaps even more mysterious than if had been a light.
And as you continue your trek, the sun begins to set until finally it's consumed by the horizon, and you enter into darkness.
Well, seems like as good a time as any to set up camp.
Yes.
I need about 10 minutes and then we'll have a shelter.
Thank you.
And I will go ahead and perform the ritual to summon forth the tiny hut. We will make the outside kind of a dark blackish blue just to give it a natural level of camouflage while we're out here in the middle of the desert.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to be in it, so I'll be in there.
All right. So you create the tiny hut. What does it have inside? Does it have tents for people, or?
No, it's pretty sparse. I can control the temperature. We can see through it. And I can command it to become dimly lit or dark. So,
Ooh, it has air conditioning.
yeah, it's got air conditioning.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So what
Well,
temperature
not
do you
really
set
air
it to?
conditioning. It's comfortable and dry, regardless of the weather.
Okay, but it says you can set its temperature. So if you can make it like, a nice 10 degrees as opposed to the 50 degrees or whatever.
Yeah, it's comfortable and dry in there.
10 degree. Oh, Canadian.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Celsius. I don't know what your weirdos use for heat. All right, so you create the tiny hut. The party gathers inside, and they may take benefit from the long rest.
Oh, hell
right.
yes.
Oh, it's very welcome.
Yeah.
And I would like to meditate on my eye and see if I can communicate and figure out what's with the colors.
Very good. So you spend the time meditating, Varel, during this time, and your sense is that your color changing likely has not to do with the eye. That your color changing was an independent byproduct of communing with the froghemoth mind. That somehow an infusion of pixie dust mutated your body and has corrupted it. But you now have the ability, and you can go ahead and add that somewhere in your sheet, to change the color of your scales at will.
Damn.
That's all. As simple as that. But it may confer stealth advantages in certain situations.
Ooh, cosmetic and useful.
You don't know if it's permanent or a temporary affliction, but as you sit there by the campfire light and think about the color of red, you see your scales slowly change to red. And as you think about charcoal, you change to a gray color. It seems to obey your will. It's independent of the eye. The eye itself confers its approval upon you and nothing more. It doesn't communicate with words, but just with the sense that its will is pleased.
Awesome.
It blinks quite a bit too. Because when it blinks, you can feel it. You feel the blink in your chest, and it's unusual.
Yeah. Does it make noise? Is it like...
Yeah, there's a little wetness. When it's very quiet, you can hear the flesh slide over the eye surface.
Perfect.
Is anything else anyone wants to do during the long rest?
I think I'd just go over and talk to Hope. Hope, how are you holding up? I know we were very close to the objective, and now we find ourselves almost back at square one.
I'm feeling good about it. Nothing reset as far as we know. And for all we know, everything could be taken already. For us.
Could be. Is this still the path you wish to walk?
Yes.
Then we'll be with you.
Thank you.
That'll be it. Go to bed.
All right. You all sleep peacefully, the day's exertions having taken their toll on your spirit. The rest is fruitful and what's the word I'm looking for? It's restful. Everyone has a good sleep. You wake up at the crack of dawn, the sun slowly crawling over the other horizon. The desert all around you, outside of the tiny hut, appears quiet. You see the corpse, the husk of the bottom half of the froghemoth in the distance, casting a large shadow around it. Birds have seemed to continue to mass around it, and you can see them flying, circling.
Stand up, kind of take a look out, make sure nobody is around the hut. Kind of a concerned, worried look on my face, and dispel the hut.
Okay, you dispel the hut. Everyone is exposed to the elements and the hot air.
Shit,
Rise and
Stanley.
shine. We should probably get moving.
Maybe warn me
But
next
where
time.
to?
Gosh dang it. And I take my cloak off. It's freaking hot in here.
I could have made you sleep outside, Nash. I do get to choose who enters the hut.
Fine, but just maybe a little warning next time. For
We
shit's
find
sakes.
ourselves in a fascinating position. When last we had the radio, we were inside the keep. We weren't seen leaving the keep, were we now? And here we find ourselves on the side of town, the same as the block and the salivating fields. My heart beats with revenge and a mighty need to smash some cabbage.
I'm inclined to agree. If we're going to head back to the teat, we are at an advantage. I don't think anybody knows that we're outside.
But if he's a vampire, how do you kill that? I would assume it's not as easy as what we've fought so far. He's undead?
That is true. We did not successfully kill the lesser vampire we fought.
Yeah, it turned into a strange mist and wafted around for a little bit.
Then perhaps
Nash.
a second plan. Oh?
Nash,
What?
what did your stupid book say about killing a vampire?
You have to. Well, the lore goes, you typically, and this varies from story to story, but you're supposed to, with great force, enter their heart with a wooden stake or stick, but it has to be wood, and that's the only sure way to dispatch a vampire. So a sharpened stake, for example, just right through the heart. Anything else, and you don't guarantee anything. You could cut his arm off; he's still a vampire. He's still coming to get you. You got to put that stake through their heart. That's what the book said. And some books were different. Some said if you splashed something called holy water in their face, it would burn them. Or if you held a crucifix in their face, they would be terrified of that and run. But
What's a crucifix?
it's how do I explain this? You know of Jesus Chrome. We've talked about that whole.
I'm not exactly the most religious person, Nash.
Well, you know of him though, right?
Sure.
Okay. Well, in the old times, there was a Jesus of a very different era, and he was killed by being strapped to a giant cross. And that cross is sometimes referred to a crucifix because that's short for the object of crucifixion. When you're crucified, you are placed upon a cross. And so some people would wear these around their necks, and when they would, and to hold those to a vampire's eyes would send the vampire running. But it doesn't work on all vampires, or at least books would differ as to its effect. The only consistency I read in those books was stake through the heart. No more, no less. That was how you guaranteed death.
I don't think any of these rules make any sense to me.
I agree. I'm not saying they make sense. I'm just saying that's what was in those books. And some of the books were a little more loose with their fiction than others. Many around me in the mines didn't believe any of this. But we know they're real.
Many of those around you outside of the mines don't believe any of this.
Fair enough, but it's better than not doing anything if we encounter.
Sure, it's an idea at the very least. We need wood, I guess.
Yes. Any wood would do. It just needs to be sharp and strong.
Yeah, well, there's not exactly an abundance of that around these days.
I mean, back in town would probably be the closest we'd find anything.
Yeah. It's back in town, eh?
Well, do we know anybody else who might know? I mean, I suppose we've missed a couple opportunities to ask people who might have had an idea on how to kill a vampire. But,
We're fortunate enough that it wasn't caught on radio.
we figured that one out a little later than we should, but we figured it out nonetheless.
Yes, I have some ideas about this sort of thing. I think our biggest problem as a group is that we do not, charge for our services.
I agree with you, Varel. We absolutely should start that.
I fear that when we arrive and ask for nothing in return for services, we come off as gullible. And we should rectify that situation and have some sort of weight, so that bending the knee isn't the end result of every conversation after we've completed the first quest.
We are hotel owners. We are business people. We are very capable in combat. We've killed a lot of things. I feel like all of this deserves a reward.
I agree. How?
How do we get it?
Yes.
Well, step one, let's get our town back. Well,
Yes.
Hope's town. But
We've got the
either way,
queen.
our
It's
town.
our town.
We have the queen with us. That should be something. Now, Hope, you're not for the... what I feel to be the correct approach. Put you on top of the Fate 4. Feathers. Fire. And roll you in. Proclaiming the queen has returned.
I mean, we could try it. But if anyone is there that wants to kill us, it's a huge target. Whereas now we could sneak in, right? We could try to get back into the keep without anyone knowing.
Well, I mean, we saw what was going on up there. There was a vicious battle, and Froghemoth certainly did damage to the pixies, and likewise those pixies were tearing up the guards. If there's a time to make a big, bold entrance, this is the time.
Nash,
Hmm.
do you have any way to expedite our journey to the keep?
I have one riding horse.
That's more than we had.
It's on one of these patches, so we'd have to pull that out and use it. We only have one, but
How many can it fit?
it would significantly, well, I don't know. Is there any way to tell from the patch, Bo, if what size of horse we're looking at?
Generally, usually one or two people ride on a horse.
Horse does not exactly inspire awe there, Nash. I think maybe we were thinking something a little bigger, more intimidating that you might be able to provide.
I see. Well, you could just come out and say it. Turn into a dragon and be exhausted for 4 days. That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, I was thinking of the horse.
Could you fly us in, Nash?
Yeah, we could do it.
I mean, you're no longer a little pony dragon. You seemed bigger last time. Does he seem big enough to carry all of us yet?
He
or
is definitely big enough to carry 3 people easily.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I should
you're
be able
bigger.
to do that. All right.
He's
Are
a
we-
big lad now.
Are we agreed?
I mean, how long does it last? I feel like we've done this math before, but I
It's
want
a number of hours, I think, equal to half of his level. But
I
you have
thought
to
it was
double check.
I thought it was
That was a large spell that gave us the time limit last time.
Yeah, and enlarge spell was what the limiting factor was. If he'd have been the dragon he is today, there would have been no need for enlarge, basically.
right. But
So let me see.
but I
here.
don't think there's a limit on time, is there? I thought it was just when I
There
quit.
is. You can use it once per day. You have the long rest to recharge it, and you can stay in B shape for a number of hours equal to half your level rounded down. So you are level 6.
Yeah.
So you can stay in for 3 hours.
3 hours total. Well, that should be plenty of time if it's a 5-hour walk.
You do fly at a faster speed than you do walking.
I would hope so.
And then, if there's any resistance, we got a big old dragon to go ahead and attack anybody that gets mad at us.
And we could fly directly to the throne room.
We could. The
Bypass
Froghemoth certainly made an easy access point for us.
Let's do it.
I
Varel,
like it.
how do you
I
feel
love it.
about flying in on a giant dragon?
How
and
should I
scaring
feel?
the bejesus out of everybody in town?
Oh, keep talking, please. Tell me more.
I just really want you to get behind this because it seems like a plan that's up your alley.
I am absolutely committed to this plan.
Hope?
Yes, but do we need to make it big? And if we do, I don't know how to make it big.
Well, it's still big. It's just if you want it bigger, if you want me to enlarge it, I don't know how to do that once I'm in dragon form.
We're talking about his dragon form, correct?
No,
It's getting weird.
Varela was saying something about feathers and I don't know.
Yes,
Oh,
what-
make it more intimidating and frightening for me.
Yes,
Oh.
I've never done anything like this.
Stanley, you have charms and things, don't you?
I have a plan. We could rain down gold as we fly over.
What gold?
My gold.
Well, you need that gold. You need to buy a wrap or a backpack or something. Everywhere you go, you're sticking blades in your teeth and tucking things under your arms. You need a place to put things.
That is true.
That's going to cost gold.
Oh.
Also,
well,
we're not that well off.
No, I have gold. Like, I have a large amount of gold buried in the desert.
What?
I...
Really?
Yes, I helped rob the bank.
You did?
When did
Yes.
you
Back
get
in-
a bunch of gold?
In Slave Town. The
Did
gentle...
I know this? Or is this actually the first I'm hearing of
We
it?
could get
think
my
this is the
chest,
first
and
time.
as we fly over, spoon out gold as we fly, and gain the appeal of the townsfolk.
Well,
There was an old book in the solar mines
also, though, what if we kept the gold?
called Robin Hood.
What we could do is we could set aside a certain amount of gold that we toss down. That way we don't have to get rid of all of it, but we can still Robin Hood it.
Oh, I see you're familiar with the book. It's it's good stuff.
I do not like this Robin Hood style, but you're right, it would certainly catch attention, and maybe
very-
at least grant some favor to us.
It is true, I do not know the appraisal. I have very limited understanding of the monetary system. So perhaps first we should head to my hide and find the treasure. Perhaps it's full of crowns and bracelets and things we could adorn Hope in to make her look regal. And if it is of an amount that we can spare, then we can proceed with this plan.
All right, and then we split the rest because we're a team.
Hope's
Is
just
that
gonna
correct?
stay quiet. She's gonna give Stanley a knowing eye.
He just said we needed to get paid. I'm saying, what if we all got paid? I didn't realize we already had been.
Is it
I was
worth
paid for a service I did back in Slave Town.
Is it worth it to us to gain the favor of the people for shoring up our chances there?
Should I be secretive, Hope? What's
It's
going on?
Pharrell's gold.
Oh, it's mine. Should I be defensive of my gold?
You should choose what you do with it. You can be defensive or you cannot. The
Oh.
choice is ultimately yours.
Well, if you all had supplies, you'd share them with me.
Well, yes, we've been sharing supplies,
Yes.
haven't we?
Yes.
Well, then, to my secrets, then. And I'll
All
start
right.
walking to find the rock with the
Fortuitously, it was a rock and cactus, right? That were the
cactus.
landmarks.
Yes.
Fortuitously, you were nearby.
Excellent.
In a 10-minute journey to said location, you see the cactus and the rock formation. The ground that you left it undisturbed.
I'll dig it up. Dig up the
You begin
chest.
digging it up, and you pull out a chest. It's heavy, large, and Varel pulls it out from the ground with a big heave.
This is my gold, and I will throw it open.
You open it up, and it's a massive chest, and it is filled with gold, crowns, jewelry. You name it. There's maybe 100,000 gold pieces in this thing.
Is this much?
Hope can't even say anything, but her mouth is open.
Good
I
Lord.
feel like I picked the wrong profession.
How did you keep this a secret so long?
I had to bury it in the deep of night, and it never came up.
Stanley, I don't think he values gold the way we do, or the way you do.
You think, Nash, he doesn't even have a shirt.
Well, this is a lot of gold, so maybe we could do both. You could keep a lot of this and toss some of it to fulfill your idea, Varel. You don't have to give it all away.
Oh.
How much is here?
Enough to burn down Slave Town, apparently. And I'll take out a crown and I'll kind of try to put it on Hope's horn head, sort of from the back, and slide it on.
It doesn't appear to have been made for a tiefling, so it fits awkwardly over her. It doesn't really work with her.
Take 2 crowns and one over each horn, kind of hang them like big.
You find a
earrings.
second tiara. You find not a tiara, but like a thinner crown, a loop.
Yeah.
So you're able to you hang
Circlet.
one off of each horn. They are
Regal.
unflattering to your eye, the rest of the humans, but to Varel it looks magnificent.
Hope will kind of awkwardly pose. She tries out this regal thing.
All right, make a pose roll, please.
What would that be?
Yeah, what pose?
And add your charisma to your roll. Now you are, however, not proficient or skilled in regality.
Okay, 14.
Nash.
better.
Nash is mildly aroused.
Whoa!
No, I don't mean like wiener. I
How
don't have
do you
one.
know?
What did you think that meant?
No, it's just supposed to be like, oh, that's impressive.
Okay, all right.
I don't mean like I don't even have a boner.
Doesn't go up.
You yelled that out in a real like. Okay, anyways.
Nash agreed. We should make it big.
I mean, we gotta figure out how to enlarge it after all.
Yeah.
Perhaps there are some garments of great wealth in this box as well. I haven't looked in it.
Well, we should probably look.
Well, you begin shifting around inside, but you don't see garments in here. It is wall to wall gold, gems, diamonds, and pieces of expensive jewelry, all fashioned of gold.
I mean, these are people that they live in a place called Trashburg. They're not exactly going to be drawn to opulence necessarily, or their definition would be somewhat muted. As a matter of fact, gold doesn't even have the same value in this town. We're going to be shifting that paradigm quite a bit. So, I mean, I think a show of strength over the people who have been oppressing them is going to be just as impressive as any sort of regality that we could muster.
fair.
Strength doesn't pay the bills. I'm just saying
No.
a little of both. Never you can do both.
Has Nash ever paid a bill?
I just mean these people, they live, hand to foot. They don't. It's not. I'd say that, is it?
At Hungui lives hand to foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't. They never have enough to eat. They don't have enough to live. They can't. Why can't we do both? Why not a little goodwill from us to go along a longer way with them and a show of force?
I say we do the dragon, we throw the gold, we storm the keep. I can even shout from the megaphone that we've come to liberate them and that things will change. I don't know, I'm either the biggest criminal or the potential hero of the people, depending on who you ask. I made some promises a little bit ago during a bit of a diversion. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. I don't
did you
know if that
promise?
matters now. People don't really like me.
What was the promise?
I think sewers was the primary promise.
Well,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
fair.
Yeah, I remember that. When you were making your political bid. You promised
Yeah.
better. You promised better sewers, toilets.
Well, then,
I
dragon.
don't- I mean, we're close enough. I think
Let's-
it's time for a dragon.
Take some of the gold, bury the rest.
Yeah. I'll keep it in my rad claws I'm about to have, and then drop it when you tell me. We could do that, or we give it to Varel, let him spoon it, as he says. My phone thinks I'm talking to it.
We have a hard out in 2 minutes.
Well, then I'm going to turn into a dragon right now.
All right. And I will grab some of the necklace and jewelry and also put that over Hope's neck. And we will...
Here's what I say. I say, tuck in, boys. We're in for a fight. Watch me dragon out and take flight. And then it just...
He metamorphoses before you, his body twisting and mutating until he takes the shape of a young dragon.
All right, everyone gather gold, bury the rest, and let's get going.
We'll take off. Here we go. Big wings.
Are you taking all the gold or just partial gold?
Partial.
No, I think we're doing like a 2 pockets. So the ones with pockets who aren't dragons, and I have no pockets. So 2 pockets for Stanley, 2 pockets for Hope, and I'll bury the rest.
Yeah, I make a little thing with my cape. That we
Give yourself each about 5,000 gold. Okay, on your character sheets, and you bury the rest, right? So you
Yes. So
bury it as it was.
10,000 total is gone.
Yeah, Nash is impatient, so you quickly run up on top of his back and take to the sky.
I get excited, man. I'm in full mode hoo-ha there.
The dragon jumps up into the sky, and then you see the skyline and the sun and the silhouette of a dragon against the sun as it flaps, and Nash goes, even though he doesn't have to, he makes a big loud dragon sound. This dragon sound echoes throughout the city, and you know that it's being heard. Find out next time how the town reacts to Nash the Dragon.
I'm loving it. Sorry, chat room. Everyone was frozen for a minute there. They're all fixed now. For a long time, Bo had a really creepy look on his face. This was Bo's face. And it wasn't moving. All right. Well, excellent work, everybody. That was great. As always, what do you do in the meantime? You go get your teas. You go get your stuff. It's all at therewillbedungeons.com. And then you join us here next week. Oh, look at that. Bo's got his good berry going on there. Very, very nice. Then you join us next week for the continuation of this grand story. And if you have any questions or thoughts or feelings in the meantime, you can send us your emails. Do that because we love them and we can't get enough of them. That's at therewillbedungeons.com. That's therewillbedungeons.com. What else? That's it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. For me, Bo, Kristen, Kyle, John, and Bo, I said twice. We'll see you next time. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
That's a good